Hi guys, in this video I've come to a pocket of woodland in North Yorkshire and it's an absolute riot of colour. However, I've decided I'm going to photograph it in black and white. Now I know it may seem a bit obscene photographing autumn in black and white, but really I find colour can be very distracting for this time of the year. And as pretty as it is, what I actually want to try and concentrate is on basically the texture and form of autumn. You know, it's that time of change, things are dying, there's a lot of leaf litter we can photograph, there'll hopefully be some mushrooms to photograph, and obviously there'll be some lovely trees. And as the leaves slowly fall, the true skeletal form of them will start to appear. So my first shot of the day is a simple detail of these ferns which are all dying off here. And to be fair, there are some gorgeous colours in there, so it does seem a little bit obscene actually photographing it in black and white. However, I think what the problem with colour is that our eyes are so used to seeing the world in colour, you know, that you don't look at the subtle details of what's actually there. But as soon as you switch to black and white, it just makes your brain think that little bit more about the actual texture and form. And to aid me in this process of composing black and white shots today, what I've actually done, and it's the first thing I always do when I'm shooting black and white, is I switch the photo style to a monochrome photo style in the camera, so everything I'm looking through is actually in black and white. And I know it's the argument that you should get to learn how colour translates to black and white, and I do sort of agree, especially if you're shooting film, but if you've got the technology there that allows you to easily see what things look like in black and white, and if it makes it a more enjoyable process and an easier learning curve, then I can't see the harm in actually just putting your camera to monochrome profile and composing your shots actually in black and white, so you have a rough idea where they're starting off. Now, I've gone for a square crop on this one, simply for a couple of reasons. First of all, square crop's very timeless with black and white. I think it always works really nicely. And secondly, because I'm not using a macro lens, but I want to get close, if I went for the full sensor width, what I was finding, I was getting the edges of the fern in, and then there was a lot of distractions coming into the shot. So again, by switching to a square crop, it just helps simplify it, and I think just leads to a better photo. And really that's the key, isn't it? So I'll put that shot up and I'll see you at the next subject. Well, I didn't have to go very far from my next shot, and basically I was just photographing the ferns just over there, and I've come up here and I've noticed these gnarly tree bending over and reaching another tree, and it's backlit, so to be honest I probably wouldn't normally photograph this in colour, but in black and white it's working quite nice. Now I am expecting it to lose some detail in the sky, which is fine, I can cope with that, because again it's black and white, so it doesn't matter so much. I think if photographing colour you would expect to see some detail in that sky. In black and white pretty much anything goes. It's all about your own creative vision. I'll just show you the composition. So as you can see, really, it's all about this tree here and the branches and almost the skeleton form of it. It's actually quite a simple shot. We are getting a little bit of flare, which is perhaps going to cause some bother. I'm going to underexpose it slightly. Let's have a look at the shot. You will notice that where I've chose to actually photograph from is actually quite open, and that's simply because I'm trying to simplify the chaos of woodland. What you generally find, if you're in the middle of woodland, it's harder to photograph because there's so much going on, but if you come to the slight edges or slight open pockets, then all of a sudden it becomes that little bit simpler. Now of course this is why it's quite good to come to woodland in fog, because the fog will naturally simplify and get rid of a bit of the clutter and make your compositions a bit easier to work with. But I haven't got fog, so really what I need to do is find open patches, nice gaps, interesting trees, and then it's just a case of composing. Look at this bad boy here. There's got to be a shot there, hasn't there? It's definitely worthwhile setting up. So I'm attracted to this fallen down tree here, fallen down branch next to the tree, and also the gnarly tree behind. So that's what I'm going to try and get in my composition. There's a lot of there's definitely a lot of chaos going on here. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I'm not sure if you can actually see it, but there's a couple of saplings coming up, and I think that might actually kill the shot. I don't know. I think this is a classic where if we had some fog or mist coming in, it would be really nice. I may actually try and get closer. Of course, the problem is, as I'm getting closer, these saplings are having even more of an impact on the shot. I'm going to take the shot anyway, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on the screen. And what I want you to do is look at the sapling at the front, because for me that's actually killing the shot. So this one isn't a keeper. And I think unfortunately it's just not going to work. But it's okay, we'll move on. As I walked around, I came to the conclusion these trees are just a little bit too interesting to just leave against something I'm a little bit happy with. And as I've come around this side, basically, I'm getting the same tree and the same branch falling down. But now I'm putting into play the other trees round it. And I think, whilst I still think it'd be nice with a bit of fog, I still think it's worthy of a shot. F8 on this little micro four thirds sensor should give me plenty of front to back sharpness. 3 second self timer, ISO 200, and I'll put the shot up now. Right guys, I didn't get very far. I think this goes to show actually, if you find yourself a nice patch of woodland, really you can spend the best part of a day just in a small pocket and find loads of different compositions. Now for this one, I'm going to switch to the on-camera view. Basically what's attracting me was this skeleton form here of that tree, this tree here. The trees in the distance add a nice supporting role. But the foreground is all about these ferns, and I love these ferns. And to be fair, this would probably make a really nice colour shot as well. And that's the beauty of shooting digital, isn't it? Because I'm going to get my black and white, I'm composing for black and white. But also, I can use a colour file if I want to as well. Something you can't do with film. So, back to aperture priority. 3 second self timer again. I'll check the histogram quickly, which is absolutely fine. This little camera seems to be really handling this nicely. I'm actually a little bit more concerned about my depth of field for this one because the ferns at the front are so close. However, if I increase the aperture, what's actually going to happen is we're going to get a bit more subject blur because we've got a little breeze coming. So we'll probably defeat the object anyway. So I think that's a nice little shot. And I'm going to put it on the screen for you now. Right, here's an interesting idea for you to try. Basically, as you can see, I'm just going to basically looking for nice leaves and sort of throwing them into a pile. I'm looking for one that's got a nice bit of contrast. That one there might do nicely. This is a little bit staged, but I don't think it's actually anything wrong with that if you get yourself a nice photo. And what I'm doing, I'm just piling up leaves into the making interesting composition. And I think that's it really. I think that's nice and simple. It's f8, ISO 200, 3-second self timer, and then really that's it. Now what I have done in the past, I've actually collected leaves from my own garden and I've sort of taken them inside and set them on a light box and sort of made things there. It's a nice way to pass an autumn's evening. But of course, it's also, if I'm coming to woodland like this, I wouldn't take the leaves home, you know, this is important habitat for insects and things like that. But yeah, it's quite a nice little shot which sort of pretty much sums up autumn for me. And I'm going to end the video there, guys. I hope you enjoyed my little half day out photographing autumn woodland in black and white. It's been a nice way to spend a few hours for me. It's been really enjoyable. Perhaps my only thing I'm slightly upset about is I actually haven't found any mushrooms as such. Not any that I think are photogenic anyway. But you know, there's another day. There's another excuse to come back out, isn't it? Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. Maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And I'll see you again for another one soon. Thanks for watching.